Good evening to all of our viewers and to all of our Interlingua community. My name is Mike Rees, and I'm your host right here in another session of Let's Talk by Interlingua. Shaboom! And today I'm pretty excited about what we're going to talk about today because personally, I think it's a necessity to find balance in our everyday lives. And I'm talking about hobbies. Yeah, it's a funny word and it sounds very casual, maybe not that important, but follow me through this. Let's imagine that you have tons of hours to work and also you are a parent. You come home and you have to do more work because I don't know, maybe you have to take care of your kids, etc. So you need something to find peace of mind. You need something to help you relax. Or, I love to say this, you need something to decompress. I can't believe I actually used it. Like I said, guys, I'm pretty excited, and today we are going to have some guests. Today's going to be like a very curious dynamic because we're going to do it like like a regular talk show. Like first we have this person, and after a while, whoa, we're gonna have another person. You know what? I feel great. I feel great, and I feel so happy. So let's introduce our first guest of the night. She has been here before. She gave us a tremendous, tremendous amount of movies that I'm still looking forward to watch if I could just had the time, but I will. She was in our movie session. Today she's in our hobby session, making her great comeback. Maripaz, where are you, my dear?
Hi guys, I'm back. Hi Mike.
Hi. Hey. Welcome back,
What's
Maripaz.
up?
How you doing?
Great, thank you. Really excited to show you everything I've been working on.
I'm also looking forward to do it because I mean, beforehand, I was told that not you don't have just one hobby, but you have plenty. So before, and that's very interesting. That's very interesting because I'm very curious about what are they. But first, let's build up a little bit. Let's get to that. Let's get to that. First, I want you to tell me how important do you think hobbies are for everyone's life?
Okay. I know with the lockdown, we realized that they are very important because we were stuck at home and we didn't have anything to do, and we were, wanting to do something else than watch Netflix all day. I think we realized that it was super important to have something out of our lives, or I don't know. Many people are very busy and they don't have time for hobbies. But I think it's important for you to. I think people see it as something I will do when I retire. No, I will go fishing, or I will travel the world. But I think it's important because you distract, you use your mind differently. It's very important for your mental health, I think. And you meet new people, and they will inspire you, and you can inspire them. I think that's important too.
You meet new people through your hobbies?
I
What's
have
up
met
with that?
many
Tell me.
people. Because one of them is that I love plants, and I met some plant lovers online, so we get together to share them, and we also swap some seeds, and they are the ones who taught me how to compost with my earthworms. So for me, that was amazing. Like, they gave me a new hobby, and I gave that to other people. So I think that that is the great thing, that they can be something very social, even if you Don't think. I mean, if you feel like you're lonely, like a grandma, like knitting in my house. But I mean, you can also do it with other people, like a social gathering. Yeah.
I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean, and I have felt what you have felt. I mean, it's I mean, of course, you got to do it at home, and it's an activity for yourself. But when you have the chance to share it with other people and to do it with other people, it feels so good, right? It fulfills you a lot more, right?
Yes. Yes, it's more.
So, have you always been interested in plant life, or this is something that just came out recently?
No, I was really bad. I killed everything I touched for a while. It took me a very long time to be able to have my plants and take care of them. But it was a very long process. And I like them because they're very beautiful. Now you have them in your house, and they're like very you can see that they are a decoration, like part of it, but you
Yeah.
have to take care of them. You can't just leave them do their thing. Um, yes, that was the most recent thing I think. Plant life.
Is there a play, or what has been the most interesting place that you have? Sorry about the redundance.
Yeah.
That you have planted a plant.
No, I've seen it, but I haven't done it yet. I have a shoe case, the one that where you can put like several shoes at the same time. So I hung it,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
I have plants there. So it gave this very ecological feel to the home. Because you can do it with anything. I think everything anything can be a planter, and I think people should be more open to that. You don't have to go to the store or to have a lot of money. Again, you can exchange plants with other people, or you can get them from the streets. That's a kind of weird thing I did once.
What
I
happened?
saw a plant that had
Yeah.
like many small plants. It was a type of maguey, I think. So I took them because they were
Yummy.
overgrowing, and I planted them in my house, and they're very happy now. But they were like
Oh,
on the street.
so you adopted a plant.
Easier than a baby, way easier.
And quieter than a dog, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
You know what? I haven't even heard of the. You're a pioneer because everybody adopts dogs, everybody adopts cats. I have never heard of anyone adopting a plant. So good for you.
Thank you.
Do you feel the same about flowers, or flowers don't interest you?
Um, it's not that easy for me. Yeah, flowers are very hard. Um, People have their secrets, I guess. Because as I was telling you, they have many associations, and they sell you stuff that you put in your soil, special stuff, and even with the fertilizer I have from my compost, uh,
Yeah.
they're not happy. They will never be happy. Um, but I do other plants. I prefer succulents. They're very beautiful, and I have other plants, cactus mostly. Um, that's what I really love.
Cactus. Ouch. Have you had an accident like the one I'm referring to? Because I've had millions. Yeah, like with cacti, with nopales. We don't get along. I always end up hurt or bleeding. Have you had an accident with like that?
Yes, when I we have to get them to a different planter because they are super big. My hands are always hurting because of
Oh,
several things that we can talk about later on. Because of my hobbies mostly. Um,
okay. Do you remember what was the first hobby that you had? Like probably when you were a kid or maybe a teenager? What was it?
right. Yeah, when I was very little, I had this grandma hobby. I started knitting, and I didn't know
Oh.
how, but back then, I found on the internet a lot of bored people who made videos and they taught you how to do stuff. And I was like, "Ah." And I became like one of us, and now I knit everything all the time. I don't
You
know.
did that?
Yes, this is something I made
Oh,
for
wow.
for myself. Yes, I usually make them for myself. I don't sell them. Um, but it's something I love. And also, my grandma helped me understand how to do it. So I liked that because I felt I was inheriting that knowledge. That was great. Um, yes, they made very beautiful pieces, both my grandmothers. And I know when I saw it, I was in love with crochet and knitting. I really like that.
So, what things can you knit? Because, well, of course, apart from the one that I'm seeing, right? Well, not anymore, but the one that you showed, like for example, sweaters or scarves, maybe.
Yes, you can meet basically everything, and I met
Oh my goodness. Okay, I think we're sure. Okay, folks,
sorry.
there you have
Hello?
it. No, it's okay. Everything
You're
okay?
back. Can you
All
see
right.
me? I'm not sure. Are you?
No, I see all black. But just so people know, this is a live transmission. These things tend to happen. So it's cool. Don't worry. Can you hear me? All right. This is a very interesting session right now because I find myself talking with myself. And this is a very therapeutic tool. I'm not gonna lie. It serves me, but I don't think it's the time to do it. But in the meantime, I could share you about some of the hobbies that I have. For example, well, sorry if I disappoint you because I don't consider my hobbies to be that all that interesting. But like I said, hey Maripaz, how are you?
Hi. Sorry for having.
Hey, you saved everyone from a very, very boring part because I was going to talk about me, and I don't think nobody wants that. No,
Oh
no,
God.
no, 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 no. Yeah, because my hobbies are very ordinary, like reading and maybe. Well, I don't consider doing exercise a hobby, but I mean, there's not much to talk about. Mostly, I read. I stopped. I used to play a lot of video games, but I don't have much time right now. So I kind of like left it out. And mostly, well, the most interesting hobby I have, I think it's reading because I like to read novels. I like to read books, but I also like to read comics and manga. So
Oh, that's
that's as far as
cool.
I go.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean it's
because you read everything.
yeah, I mean I'm the type of person that always goes out on the street with a backpack. And with a backpack, I always carry something to read. Either it's a book, a graphic novel, or like I mentioned, like a manga volume.
Yeah,
Because something to find something to kill the time, or maybe just to learn anything. I mean, that's why I read. To learn more words. So maybe in a conversation I can sound interesting. I don't
yeah,
know. It
it
might
helps
serve
you.
me. It helps, right? It has people take you more seriously. So it's
Yeah,
a
like, what are you reading? And I'm like, oh, we can
oh
talk about it. Yeah.
yes, yes. Well, that actually can get me in a really tough spot because what I read, I mean, it's not very intellectual. I mean, most of it's fiction. But I like to read. For example, my favorite writer is H.P. Lovecraft. Are you
Oh, he's
familiar with him?
amazing. Yeah.
I have all of his material, all of it, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And you know what? It reminds me of what you said earlier about the joy of sharing your hobby or to do your hobby with anyone with somebody else, like everyone. I'm sorry, I'm like that. To share your hobbies with other people.
Right.
It's hard for me to find someone to talk about Lovecraft's material because maybe they know the guy, but they haven't read anything, or they only know the most like stuff that almost everyone knows. So I understand what you mean, and I'm very happy that you find people to share your hobbies with.
Yeah. But as you say,
Eh,
he's very popular now, so people sometimes don't read it. They're just familiar with Cthulhu or with other stories, other creatures, but they've never opened the Lovecraft book, right? Like, there's even a Lovecraft cafe and all that,
Oh, have you gone
all that
there?
jazz. Yes, yes, it's
Oh
pretty.
my, it's expensive, but it's super cool. It's
It's really
super cool.
cool.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I felt so good being there and just reading. That's another thing. Like, I mean, I don't. I assume that you read as well, right?
Yes, yes, I love reading. Hmm.
Does that does this happen to you? In my case, I can't read at home, or at least not in my bedroom. I just can't. I'm not in the mood. I never want to. Whenever I read, it's out of my house. Maybe in a cafeteria, maybe in a bench, maybe on a park, but I just can't read at home. Does that happen to you?
Right. You have to be in the reading mood. I think when I travel, that's the best time that I just get my book. I know I will have no interruptions at all, and I will be just reading and reading. If I commute somewhere, yes, I love reading out of my house, or yes, even in a coffee shop, because you don't have a care in the world. You can do reading. Maybe that's why you don't like to read at home, because you can be interrupted, or you're like, oh, I have to take out the trash or something dumb like
You know,
that. Um,
you know what I think it is? I get distracted very easily. Very easily. For example, if can you see the tree behind me?
yes.
If we were in like a regular conversation, I mean, if we weren't doing this, like if it was a regular video call, uh, two friends talking, and a squirrel would be climbing, I would be like, "Oh look,
You're gonna be like, oh
hey,
my
hey, look, oh my God, have you seen the sunset yet? It's so gorgeous, it's so beautiful."
god.
Well, I'm sorry, what you were saying? I get distracted like very, very, very easily. Oh my God.
That was weird.
Oh man. Mm. But you know, let's focus on let's focus on you. You were saying that you developed the skill of knitting ever since you were a kid due to your grandmas. And well, I can see because of what you showed that you still do it. But how often?
I don't always have time. That's the issue. But I'm interested in doing it when I can because recently, I was going to tell you, a friend of mine started knitting with VHS tape, and when I saw it, I thought that is so eco-friendly and that is so creative, for people who are very young. um, Long time ago, we used a VHS tape to watch movies.
To watch.
But they took out the tape and started knitting with it, and I was like, "Can you do that?" So I want to explore different materials. I think it's something amazing, something that is so big you can do anything with that ability. I believe.
But what can you knit with VHS tape? Like a blanket or what? Or a wallet? What
I
can you do with it?
They can also make bags, and I think it has this very like very fashion feel, with that trashy fashion type of thing.
Sure.
That's the
Yes.
vibe. Yes.
Yeah, it's a fashion thing. Like, oh, because like those coats that you see made out of plastic or those transparent shoes. Like, ah, I get it now. I
Like a
get it now.
like post-apocalyptic fashion, that type of thing.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Having like a Mad Max vibe.
Right.
That's cool. That's cool. And tell me, I was gonna say what is the hobby, but no, let me rephrase it. What are the hobbies you currently have?
I am very excited about print making. Now, I will explain it to you. You have
Yes,
this
please.
thing, it's called a gouge, and if you can see it, so
Ouch.
you can, that's what I'm telling you. um, and you use it on either wood or linoleum, and you make this, so you can eventually print it.
Wow.
Maybe you will like it because this is very Lovecraft like,
Oh.
cosmic horror type of thing.
Yes.
This is
We
what I
have a we have a
actually
big eye. That's a nice step. That's a nice touch.
that's the type of thing I've been making. Yeah. And it's also something you can do. You can print on paper stickers, all the stickers that are on the street. And also you can use it to print fabric, or even to have it on your jeans, on your shirt. um, it is also very like, I don't know, very flexible, if you want to call it that.
Okay. Yeah. When did you where how did you discover that?
I learned how to do it by chance. I was in a swap party, and there was a guy who was doing this, and I approached him and said, "What are you doing?" And he's also a street artist because he also does like some graffiti or stencil, but he
Mhm.
does a lot of this printmaking. So he taught me how to do it maybe 3 years ago, and I loved it. Yes, I'm thinking about making calendars with a friend who is a designer for this year. Yes, we have a lot of plans for lino printing.
Calendars.
You know, like the
Ah.
ones they give you in the tortilla shop at
Oh,
the
right.
butchery. Yeah, that type of
Yeah,
thing.
the classic ones.
Yes,
The
we
image.
want to work with that idea. Yes.
What would you put in there? Besides the months and the dates, would you, with what would you illustrate them?
Well, I think I want to rethink all the Mexican culture, but get trajineras, but also have Juan Gabriel
Oh,
singing in them, that type of thing, and street markets. I want to do that type of thing because I love our culture, and I just want to represent it and for people to really appreciate it. Um, it's something that we see every day, so we are so used to the tianguis, who cares, no? But it's something that other people, all the foreigners, are fascinated by our food and our culture, and we don't appreciate it, I think.
because it's so regular that we are just like, oh yeah, it's part of our lives. I
Yes.
get it. I get it. Are any of your other hobbies related as well to Mexican culture?
There's another one. This, this
Mm-hmm.
this is something that's very representative and that you can make with trash. Again, you take some newspaper and you make
Okay.
some paste, some glue, and you can eventually paint it and make something like this. Yeah. Like cartoneria, alebrijes, that type of thing. um, that is something I also learned very recently, and I love it. I think it's amazing.
What's that, like a mask or what? I don't know why I thought it was like a cup. I'm sorry. Uh, but
It's the same
it's
color.
because you know what? The
Same
blue on the
color.
top.
God, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Oh, it's because the blue on top, it looks like as if it was a hole. So I thought it
Oh,
was like it
okay.
was kind of like a cup. Oh, there you go. There you go.
It's like that. Right. So no, it is only a skull. Many people make skulls for November and for Day of the Dead. So that is when I learned how to do this, and also these huge sculptures that they make, that they burn with the
Yeah.
fireworks, called
Yes.
Judas. It's the same thing, same principle.
How many have you made so far?
I made three of them, and then I made a mermaid. But I've given
Mermaid.
away most of them, and yes, maybe I'll show it to you when in a minute. I don't know where it is. But yeah, I really like it, and I started playing with the possibilities because you can do anything. Also, people make jewelry. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's okay. Also, it's
You
interesting.
haven't done that?
No, not yet. And also, I think I would eventually destroy it. It's very, very frail. I think I can't use that.
See, it's curious that you say that maybe with your hands you are. Well, let me quote you. This is something you said, that everything you touch, it dies. Don't you find it curious? I'm sorry. Don't you find it curious that
I, I'm not a witch,
you?
like.
I just can't believe that there are like so many ways you could have. I mean, I get what you meant to say, but that was kind of like the best choice to express it. I'm so thankful for it. Thank you so much, and I needed that laugh. Thank you. But what I meant to say. is that, don't you find it curious that you are aware of that, but so far the hobbies that you mentioned that you do, they all required to be very careful and gentle with hands. The plants, you can't be like that aggressive. To knit, you have to be very precise, or you can pinch yourself. With the masks and all the things that you do in cartoneria, I mean, you have to be like very slow. So, is that why you do those things, to help you with your coordination?
Oh, it helps a lot. And as I was telling you, it's that type of ability that will also prevent you from getting Alzheimer's, dementia, that type of disease, because you are using your nerves, you're using your hands. You are not static. You are using your potential, basically, I think, because you don't do the same thing every day. And if you're creative, I think you use your brain to the bigger potential it can have. um, I started doing it because I was bored. I have to say that. Like, I was like, what can I do with my time? And I started knitting also in the bus, when I was on the subway as well, because I didn't like getting bored. And eventually, I started doing all these things. But you have to release your creativity or your energy in some type of way, I think. That's very important, um, for each one of us. And you can express what you think or express your ideas this way. Like, some people are not very verbal, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
they really can't tell you, oh, you know what, this is what I like, this is what I believe, or yeah, they have to show you in a different way. That's why hobbies exist, I think.
What ideas do you express through your hobbies?
One of them, one of them that I want to make again is, I also love cycling, and that is something I do a lot. So I made a print about cycling and how you get faster everywhere with cycling.
Hmm.
So I also want to do it again because I love that community. I don't have it printed, I think. But I think you can express what you're passionate about. To me, it's life, like flowers, plants, and also death. But yeah, like, you can't see it, but this one is about cycling. Huh.
Yes, I see a bike.
Yeah.
And what is that? A cactus?
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Yay! All
you got
right.
it right.
I'm not as blind as I thought I was.
Yes, I'm working on that one. Uh, yeah, that is what I love.
Why did you stop cycling?
Oh, I'm still cycling.
Oh,
Maybe a week, but that's the only exercise I get. I don't work out like you, because I get bored, so I
oh,
cycle,
I know.
and I
I
just
understand. Yeah, it takes a quite a while. That's why I never do it without music. Otherwise, I don't do it at all. At all. But hey, thank you so much for sharing that. I honestly didn't know that doing things with your hands, or with a lot of parts of your body, with your brain, helps you prevent Alzheimer and other types of diseases. I honestly didn't know that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, there you have it, folks. Develop your hobbies, and maybe you will be thankful when you reach a certain age. So, guys, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, uh, we have another guest coming. She has also been here before in the Let's Talk show, and I'm looking forward to what she has to say today about hobbies as well. So let's bring out Karen. Karen, right here.
Hello, Mike. How are you doing? Hi,
Hi,
Michael.
Hi,
Karen.
Karen.
Hey.
Everything okay, my dear?
Yeah, everything's going well. Well,
Good to hear. Good to hear. I hope it's a lovely evening for you. And well, so far we have discussed the all the gamma of hobbies that Matty has and practices. However, a little birdie told me that unfortunately for you nowadays, it's pretty hard to take time to do maybe something that you like to do your hobbies. But but can you tell me what are those hobbies that you miss doing?
oh God, did you put me in a tight spot there?
Oh
um,
man, what did I
mean,
do?
not nothing. The thing is that I've done several things and I miss many. When I was younger, I used to practice ballet and I really liked it a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I consider this as a hobby because it wasn't like my main core, But I really liked it a lot. I mean, I've done several things. I also practiced violin and the drums. I also played the drums for a while. And
Cool.
yeah, I also went to drawing and painting classes. I really miss those because I really like painting and drawing. Yeah. And
Oh,
yeah.
continue.
Uh, and also, I really miss. Well, I still do it, but I don't have like the same time to do it. I really like reading a lot. Like when I was younger, I used to read like thousands of books a year. And nowadays, it's really hard for me to read. So I really, really cry all night because of that.
Can you remember which was the last book you read?
I'm currently reading one that it's called The Art of Loving,
Mm.
and it's
Okay.
yeah, it's a really nice book. But I haven't finished it because I mean I haven't had the time to, to read it. So it's kind of hard.
Let's picture this. Let's imagine this. Let's use our imagination. Tomorrow you're on vacation. Boom. Hey, you know what, Karen? Take the rest of the month off. So maybe you have like, let me just check the date. 20 days
Okay,
without working. So that means you have plenty of
oh,
time.
that would be so great.
What would you do, or which hobbies would you retake?
I think I'll definitely go back to music. Like playing the drums was super fun, and I didn't have like a big chance to practice it a lot, but I really had lots of fun playing the drums. So I definitely would try to improve that one, and I really like learning languages too. I mean, of course, but I'm currently studying Korean and Italian, but it's really hard
Molto
to move forward.
bene.
Mm.
Yeah,
What What is the hardest part about learning Korean?
the kanjis.
I thought that would be it.
Yeah,
And
really.
is it true that their structure? I'm gonna sound so much like a teacher right now. I'm sorry. Is it true that their grammar or that their structure is way different from maybe English, Spanish, and all the Romance languages?
Totally different. For
Oh
example, in
man.
that case, the verb always goes at the end.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
Weird.
When we create sentences in Korean, the verb always goes at the end. So it's like, quite shocking. Or sometimes it depends on the conversation. You are going to answer in a specific way. And
Yeah.
it's like reacting to what they say. It's like one word can have different meanings depending on the conversation. So it's difficult.
Okay. Can you sustain a conversation or not
Oh,
yet?
of course not.
Oh man.
I would really love to do that, but it's really, really hard. So not yet. I'm still on the part of learning the kanjis.
Oh man. How many do you have so far?
I haven't like actually counted them, but I more or less like identify some of them, or I am able to like to write a couple of ideas maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes I
Yeah.
get mistakes. So yeah,
Well,
and
you're still in the middle of the process, so it's quite understandable. What made you choose Korean and Italiano?
well, Korean because I think I have already mentioned this before. No, I don't remember if I
And I
mentioned
love, but
it
I still love to hear it. But I still love to
here.
hear it.
I'm a very fan of K-pop and K-dramas. So I
Hmm.
really, yeah, I love them so much. And you can say that those are my hobbies now when I have the time, right?
Of
Like,
course.
yeah, I really like the music, in general, all of the culture. So that's why I decided
Mm-hmm.
to start learning it. And Italian because I really want to travel to Venice and Rome. So, and I also need it for
Wow.
my university. So I've
Mm.
decided to start with that one.
You need Italian for your university?
Yeah, for my degree. It's yeah, I know it sounds weird, but my university wants me to certify another language. So
Oh, you have to have like three languages. Your
Wow.
English
exam.
and another one.
Okay.
That's
All
right.
right.
They are giving me a hard time with that. So yeah.
No, I know.
Okay. But molto bene, signorina. Molto grazie.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I hope you eventually dominate those
Me
two
too.
languages, especially Korean, because I know that you're gonna have a lot of fun listening to your songs and watching. Could you imagine how good would you feel watching your dramas without any subtitles?
I would really love it. You have no idea. I think I have already experienced that when I started with English. I
Uh
loved
huh.
the feeling when I could understand like music or series, movies without any subtitles or without even paying like so much attention. Because it's
Yes.
so I don't know. I really love the feeling. And actually, English was also my hobby when I was younger. I never imagined becoming a teacher when I was younger.
Mm.
English was your hobby. Like,
Yeah.
how can you turn that into a hobby? Like, what did you have fun doing your homework, or what was that like? Having
Well,
a language as a
uh,
hobby.
at first I started studying English because my parents made me. Because it was going to be easier and things like that. But then I really enjoyed like understanding like the music and those kind of things because I've always loved music in English. For example, Arctic
Hmm.
Monkeys is one of my favorite bands. So
No.
yeah, so I wanted to understand what they were saying, and as started learning English and I started understanding what they were saying, I got like really excited about it. So I paid attention, I did my homework, I understood, one thing led to the other, and here we are.
Oh, yes, yes. We take. No, well, life works in funny ways, right?
Right.
And let's go back to your musical skills. Do you remember what would you normally play, or the songs that you used to practice with the drums or with the
Um,
violin? Yes, I remember that. You used to play the violin as well.
yeah,
What
actually,
do you used to play?
I played the violin longer than the drums because the drums I only got to play like for 2 months, more or less,
Yeah.
because I was about to start university when I started playing the drums. So I had to stop. And when I came to study university, I didn't have time. And with the
Um.
violin, I practiced the violin for about 1 year, I guess, more or less.
Okay.
And
Did you ever play live for an audience?
yeah, like 2 times. It was
Ah!
nice. I mean, I messed it up like several times with my. I was with a like an orchestra, you know, and I messed it up. But my classmates too, so you know.
Ah, so you didn't die alone on that one.
No, of course, it was all
Oh
together.
my. Would you like to do it again?
Yeah, it feels awesome. Like also when, for example, with ballet, when I got to present like the plays and things like that, I really enjoyed like being on stage. It was really fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just picture you and it was so cute. No. And also because I took ballet as well and I would love to go back to it.
You did?
Yes. Yes,
That's
for
so
three
cool.
years. Cool and
Mm.
tiring
Oh yes, of course.
and painful. Very painful. But it was so liberating. I understand how you feel because it's I never left the bar, unfortunately, but it was so relaxing at some at some times. Like when they put the music in the background and they you have to do the moves very slowly, allonger, cambre, relevé, coup de pied, all those
Yeah.
they make you stronger as well. That's what I'm also proud of that. So
Yeah.
I wasn't the same guy when I first joined in and when I left. So I'll always be thankful for that. And I hope we can get back to that because I would love to keep on practicing. It's a good exercise. It's a pretty
Yeah.
cool exercise.
You feel
I
like
would
you're
recommend it to
dying,
anyone.
but yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was
Mhm.
about to recommend to our viewers to practice it, but at the
Oh
same
yes.
time, yeah, it's you have to be kind of like a masochist because you will feel good, but you will also feel like you said like you are dying. So if you are like that, if you're into that sort of things, guys, go for it. Go for ballet because it's also a very beautiful. It's a very It's a very beautiful dance, and also another benefit because I used to walk like this because I'm
Yeah, the
shy.
posture.
Yes, believe it or not, I am shy outside of here. So it helped me to correct my posture, and now
Mm.
I. Well, how can I put this? Now I look as my height says. And I was this close of having a hump back, but now not anymore. So thanks, ballet. To wrap this up, Karen, I asked Maripaz. I would like to know your point of view about this. I asked Maripaz earlier in the video that how necessary, given your situation, how necessary do you think hobbies are for our everyday life?
Okay. I think they are quite necessary. I mean, hobbies, depending on the hobby, but most of the times, even if they are risky or if they are like painful, it doesn't matter. But they help you relax, So I
Okay.
think they are a very important part in our lives. When you don't have a hobby, I don't know about you, but to be honest, I've felt like the difference of not having any hobbies and having some. And when you have none, there is a part of you that is like, I don't know, getting bored all the time. You are just like getting anxious. So
Sure.
it's not
Right.
fulfilling. I don't know. It's only like, for example, having a normal activities like going to work and eating and sleeping, and that's it. I think that's not. It doesn't give you like much to much to live with. I don't know. It's like
Okay.
you don't feel so excited about your day, probably. I even, for example, lately when I had some time, I started also going to kickboxing classes, and I try to go to kickboxing at least once a week. But
Okay.
it's been really hard because lately I've had tons of things to do. But I really enjoy going there because it's different to my routine, and I get to feel like relaxed. I feel when I come out, I feel great because I did something new and I learned something new.
All
So I
right.
think hobbies are a very important part in our lives.
I agree. I agree. To wrap this up, ladies, Maripaz, you mentioned something very interesting a couple of minutes ago, and that when we were all in lockdown, we were looking for stuff to do. We needed something to keep us busy. So this question is for both of you guys. You will get your turn. But tell me, did you develop new hobbies or a new skill during the pandemic lockdown? Maripaz.
Right. I didn't tell you about that other hobby that I have. I had plenty of time, so and I have some stomach issues. Like I hate it because I love food, but I read that kombucha was great for you. No, but now kombucha was super expensive. Like this ferment was
Ah,
like very expensive, so you have to go to this specific shop and buy it. And I'm not wealthy, and I learned how to do it. I started fermenting during lockdown, and I have plenty of time, so I was buying my ingredients just at home, doing my experiments, because you can do it with tea, but you can also do it with anything that has caffeine. So you can use mate, you can use coffee, you can use a lot of things.
oh my
And
god.
I just uh, I love the flavor, and now I do it. Now it's part of my weekly routine. Fermenting is something that it's super interesting. There's also a huge community, and now I want to learn how to make beer. But that is the next level. That is super hard. That it's super hard. And I also love beer. Well, some types of beer. So I would love to be able to do it in my own house with the ingredients I want, with some this chocolate flavored, very dark beer. That'll be great.
I think I speak for Karen and hey, even for Eric that if you
Yeah.
ever learn to make beer yourself, give us a call.
Yeah, that's so
Throw, throw,
cool.
throw a reunion or a party, maybe. I don't know. It's yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
we can
do
have
it.
some beer testing with some snacks. I would love
Some
that.
a
Yeah.
Maripaz brew or start working on a name because that's very exciting. That's very exciting. I hope you make I hope you make it. I hope you make it. I hope you really make it. Thank you. Karen, what about you, my dear? Did you learn anything new or did you develop a skill during the pandemic lockdown?
I did. First, it was kind of like a part of an exercise that my psychologist got into me. But I
Okay.
started getting interested into writing. I
Right.
started writing like
Writing.
writing, yeah, writing,
Mhm.
Okay.
like a journal at first, but then I started writing other things,
Oh.
and I decided to. Well, I actually just enrolled myself in a course because I
Mhm.
really liked it, and I think it's kind of interesting how it works, like creating, worlds and things like that, or just writing whatever you have in your mind. So
Okay.
it's something that I try to do also as much as possible. Kind of hard sometimes, but at least twice or three times a week I try to.
Oh, so you do practice your hobby nowadays. Where are you? Eh.
Kinda. I mean, it's part of my job right now too, so that's why I don't consider it so much as a hobby. But
No, but I mean,
could be.
for instance, when you write for yourself, maybe
Mm,
to release something that bothers you, or maybe something that you remembered. I don't know. Is it helpful to to find some balance, some
yeah,
tranquility?
yeah, it helps. On Sundays when I have the time, I try to do it as much as possible. But yeah, really
No,
helps
that's
with
kind of
time.
like the perfect day to do
Yeah.
anything. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Please, if there is something to learn from this video, is that time, I know it's a valuable thing, but try to keep yourself busy. Try to learn something new because who knows? Maybe you have a skill that you don't know about that needs to be developed. And with the testimony of Maripaz and Karen, I hope you will find the inspiration to, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe this weekend, maybe next week, who knows, to find something new to do in your lives. Ladies, thank you so much again for your participation, for taking the time to be with us tonight. And thank you so much for sharing all the information that you did. I hope you have an amazing time tonight and for the days to come.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
Oh,
appreciate
thank you.
it.
And well, for my case, without further ado, I must bid you adieu. So goodbye, mwah, and good night.